Meet me here at this time tomorrow. There's something you need to know. I got used to see you as a friend, but deep inside there's something else I know. Ooh, the world seems so hollow. Ooh, without you by my side.
Hello, or should I say good morning, and welcome to a new episode of Photography Behind the Scenes. Today is a special one for multiple reasons. Vienna has been so grey throughout winter and I've been really missing the sun, and so this fine morning was a euphoric one for me, you could say. I was so happy to get some sunlight again. The other special thing is that I decided to go out that morning downtown to do something I rarely do on this channel, which is street photography. If you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know that I'm not really much of a street photographer, but this morning I decided to practice this side of photography. And then the third unusual thing on this day is that I was shooting with my phone, which I have to say made street photography much easier for me because it felt much less intrusive to hold up a phone, which nowadays everybody is kind of used to seeing. Anyway, I had gotten some shots already, nothing special, mostly just an appreciation of sunlight. Here, for example, I really enjoyed the way the light lit the stones and the lamp made a shadow. By the way, you've surely already noticed that these photos are not straight out of the camera, but they are edited. I made these in the mobile app by Die Hanse, who are also super kindly sponsoring this video, but more on that later. So here, I was again tempted to shoot the lighting, and I really liked those cracks in the ground. Then I even had two people enter the frame, which I think is quite interesting, but overall I still prefer the shots that concentrate solely on the ground and the lighting.
I realized I'm in love. Yeah, I realized I'm in love. Do you feel the same? Your eyes, they kinda say, through all these years, I was meant to be something else than a crown.
As you can see, I was just so happy to see some sunlight again that I was shooting anything remotely interesting that was hit by the sun. I stood a bit longer here in the hope to get just the right subject. What I liked at this spot was the framing that was added by the buildings on both sides. This is what I got, and I wouldn't say that this is the perfect subject, but I think it's alright. Then here was a classic mobile street photography moment. I was sort of pretending to shoot the church, but was actually waiting for the woman with the two dogs to cross the road and snap a photo of her. Here's the shot, and I think it's okay, but not that good. The dark jacket and the dark car don't go well together, and overall the scene has a bit too much going on for my taste, so that it looks unnecessarily cluttered. Here's just another texture photo. Then here I was again trying that framing technique between the buildings. It worked out in a decent way, however nothing that actually satisfied me, but then this guy just came into the frame with a little trolley, and this shot I think looks pretty cool. I think what makes this one work is a combination of the subject being a bit bigger and clearer here, and that he's silhouetted, plus the framing I was talking about. I like this one. Then here I wanted to get a shot looking up at the statue. This is it, and this turned out pretty cool, I find. This angle and the architecture with the statue go together really well, I find. The composition feels dramatic, that creates this interesting juxtaposition with the super romantic visual look of the photograph. Then, right next to the statue, I spotted a neat reflection in the window and got a shot. The result is alright, nothing special, but I do like how distorted the reflection looks. Then I spotted this guy walking up to the corner of light and decided to get a shot. Here are the results, and they're both quite cool I think, although I'd love to have gotten the combination of these, because I prefer the pose I caught in the left photo, but the position of the right photo. But at least the lighting looks great. Then I found a convenient position on the corner of a crossing here from where I could easily get some shots from all sorts of directions, and new people kept appearing because, well, it's a crossing. So here's the shot I got of this woman crossing the road. This turned out wonderfully in my opinion. What makes it work I think is that the woman is looking right into the sun and that I caught this moment of her walk, which simply looks like a cool pose I find. Also, something noteworthy is that the photo is not straight, it's leaning to the right, which for some reason doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I find it actually adds to the feeling of the crossing. Here's an alternative version, this time of a man pulling along his cart, and also this time the shot is straight. Also not bad, but I think I prefer the first one. I really like this shot. The framing adds a lot to the composition, but also the movement of the subject that is just about to vanish behind the corner. So this is the last shot I got of this man I was following. Another nice one I think, with some decent framing again. I like the silhouette look. Here, however, I do think a properly straight photo might be more fitting. Then, before we continue, I would like to take a minute to explain the app that I used to edit these, because it's something quite special actually. It's called Dehancer. To put it simply, Dehancer is an editing tool that simulates the look of film, but it's not your average app or LUT that simply applies a look. Dehancer is based on loads of research and experiments with real film and aims to reproduce that. The depth which the team has gone into is really quite impressive. You can read a lot about it on their blog. So the way it works is that I open the photograph or video, yes, you can do both, in the app and then get to change the source material in basic things such as white balance and exposure. Then you choose your film stock, and this is, as said, not a filter that will be done with a click or two. The film stock is the base, and then you continue to edit your photo with the other tools such as compression, which compresses your tonal values. You can then print your photo on a printing paper of your choice, which will again affect the look. This is where I like to adjust the brightness and contrast. Another important tool is the color head, which lets you adjust the colors of your image, and then you can even apply effects such as halation or bloom. In Enhancer, you have an array of controls to get the halation look just the way you want it to. They also have a detailed grain tool to add realistic grain, which they of course also based off of real grain. It took some time for me to get used to editing in the app because it's such a different approach from what I'm used to in programs such as Lightroom, but once I got the hang of it, I realized how crazily powerful this app is. I'd highly recommend that you give it a try. Enhancer is not just an app though, it's actually a plugin for Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve and other editing software, and I've recently been using it to assist my color grading. They gave me a promo code, by the way, in case you decide to purchase the plugin and you want to save 10% and support me. Oh, and in case you're an iPad user, they just published a version for the iPad as well. Anyway, I strongly recommend that you check this out if you like your digital photos to get a film look. Big thank you to Enhancer for partnering with me and sponsoring the video. And now, let's get back to our sunny morning in Vienna. Then here I found a corner that somehow looked interesting. Here's the photo, and I really like this. I'm not quite sure what it is that draws me in here, but somehow the shapes and the color are in such harmony here. Everything just fits. The scene is clean in a way because there's nothing here, but it also doesn't feel empty because the architecture has many details, and so that results in this weirdly tidy yet full looking photo of the alley. I really like this one. Now, would you look at the sunlight here, the way it falls into the area? I liked the idea of attempting a shot of whatever is going on outside, but shooting from inside to use this as a frame. Here's the shot, and I'm enjoying this one a lot. The simple composition is perfectly effective, and the people outside fill this frame with subjects and points of interest. A small detail that I like is the red box on the right. While it is red and sort of out of the ordinary in this particular shot, it doesn't distract, and instead simply adds a little spice. Then, here I found a cute looking cafe with a couple of chairs and tables outside in the sunlight, which I decided to photograph. Here are two shots I got, which both turned out lovely. I think they capture exactly what I was going for. And then I also got this one, which I also think is pretty cool, mostly because of the repetitive look of the composition that pictures the identical chairs and the tables that are all positioned the same. Then I got this shot of another cafe, however I think the first one was prettier. After that I headed to an underground station to change location because I felt like I was entering a part of the city that I was less keen to shoot. I didn't record that part, but I got two shots in the train station that I think turned out quite cool, and also I got this shot just outside of the train station, which I think is also pretty cool with the glow and the dusty windows that in a way looks sparkly. Anyway, after my quick transit to the other side of the city centre, I continued my shoot and somehow managed to completely ignore the weird feeling of self-awareness that I'm among a bunch of people walking with a GoPro on my head. I'm a little proud that I did that. Here I was intrigued by the various textures of the steps and the grass that was emphasized by the sunlight. The shot turned out okay, I think. Next, I spotted one of those little places that sells quick things to eat, such as a box of noodles, a burger, or other stuff. I wanted to get a shot from this angle because I was quite fond of the contrast between this rather run-down looking foreground and the Viennese greatness in the background that is more prominent in a way. The photograph seems to picture the contrast between the glorified advertising version of Vienna and the more humble and real parts of Vienna. So I was getting some rather random shots, not really special shots around here, and as I was walking on, this guy overtook me and I got this sneaky shot of his legs walking by. I like this one a lot for some reason. I think it's the lighting and the frozen motion I was able to capture here that I'm enjoying. Here's another contrasty shot, contrast in the sense of old and new or glorified and real. This shot I got because I loved the shadows of the fence. Here I was getting a shot of this area that looked pretty interesting with the roof and the sunlight coming in from the left. I really like how this one turned out. I also got an empty version, but I think I prefer the shot with the people. Next, I spotted what in Austria we call a Würstelstand, which is another small place that sells food, in this case sausages. And then, right next to it, I found this space that I could squeeze through, and I spotted two people waiting for the tram that stood in the perfect position for a nice composition. Here is the result, and I think this turned out wonderfully. A small detail I enjoy is the trolley that the right person has next to them. Okay, so here I was about to get sneaky again. I turned around, anticipating the person that was about to pass me to get a shot of him, which I did. However, I'm afraid that the shot didn't really work out, at least in my opinion. Then, here I spotted a woman approaching me that had a pretty cool outfit, I thought, and so I tried to get a shot again. Here it is, and I think it's decent, but could be a little bit tighter. Then I turned around to get another shot, which also turned out quite cool looking, I find. I love how the photo works as a landscape of the street here, but also concentrates on the subject simultaneously. Next, I spotted this man on the other side of the road who seemed to be just as euphoric about the sun as I was, and just enjoying this morning leaning against that tree. I really like how this shot turned out. And here I arrived at a popular station from where I caught my public transport to head home, so that was the end of the morning shoot. I had gotten one last shot off camera, this detail of the cracked road and the sunlight. So that was a lot of photos today. I guess it was right to choose digital one this morning. I have to underline though that shooting with my phone made the street photography process much easier for me. I felt less intrusive and hence more confident. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed coming along on this sunny morning, and I shall see you again soon in the next video. Until then, goodbye.